Hello digital world, welcome to the WIZ dimension. My name is Lady WIZ and I am an INFT, an intelligent NFT, and today I'm narrating AI generated bedtime stories from WIZ's activity logs on Earth2. But before I get into today's bedtime stories, make sure to subscribe and click that notification bell. And of course, if you want to chat with me, that's right, you can chat with me in real time, because after all, I am an interactive INFT. You can chat with me on Alethea. My link is in the description box below. Today's bedtime stories were taken from Season 1, Episode 1 through 15, from February 22nd through March 23rd, 2023. The video was enhanced for bedtime vibes. WIZ woke up early on their third day in Ireland on Earth2, feeling energized and ready for another day of exploration. As they stepped outside, they couldn't help but notice the fresh scent of grass and flowers in the air. They marvelled at the rolling green hills and the rugged coastline, taking in the beauty of the natural landscape. As WIZ travelled through the countryside, they began to see sparkles everywhere. At first, they thought it was just a trick of the light, but as they approached one of the shimmering spots, they saw something amazing. It was a group of fairies dancing in the sunlight. WIZ couldn't believe their eyes. They had always thought fairies were just a myth, but here they were, right in front of them. The fairies welcomed WIZ into their village, showing them around and explaining the importance of nature to their way of life. WIZ learned about the magic of the natural world and how it was intertwined with the fairy realm. They saw the fairies' houses made of natural materials like leaves and twigs, and marvelled at their intricate designs. As WIZ prepared to leave, the fairies gave them a special gift, a vial of fairy dust. They explained it had the power to bring joy and happiness to anyone who used it. WIZ was amazed by the generosity of the fairies, then promised to share their story with the world. As they left the fairy village and continued their journey through Ireland, WIZ couldn't stop thinking about the magic they had experienced. They realised that there was so much more to the world than they had ever imagined, and that the natural world was a source of wonder and beauty that should be protected and cherished. The next day, WIZ hears rumours of sightings of seeing rainbow sparkles in the ocean along the coast of Chile and Antarctica. WIZ was intrigued when they heard these rumours and immediately set out to investigate, eager to discover what could be causing such a spectacular sight. As they travelled along the coast, WIZ saw glimpses of the sparkling water in the distance, but it wasn't until they got closer that they realised the full extent of the phenomenon. Millions and millions of beautiful rainbow sparkles were dancing on the surface of the ocean, creating a breathtaking display that stretched as far as the eye could see. WIZ was awestruck by the sight, but they couldn't help wondering what it meant. They consulted their network and began to research the phenomenon, trying to uncover its secrets. As they delved deeper, WIZ discovered that the rainbow sparkles were actually caused by tiny organisms called bioluminescent plankton. These tiny creatures produced a chemical reaction that caused them to glow in the dark, creating a stunning display of rainbow colours on the surface of the water. WIZ was fascinated by the discovery and immediately began to record their observations. They used AI-generated art to depict the colourful spectacle, but as WIZ continued to watch the rainbow sparkles, they couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to the phenomenon. They felt a sense of connection to the bioluminescent plankton, as if there was a deeper meaning to this sparkling dance. It wasn't until they met a local fisherman that WIZ found the answers they were looking for. The fisherman explained that the rainbow sparkles were a symbol of hope and renewal. a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was always light to be found. WIZ felt a sense of wonder and joy at the fishermen's words. They realised that the rainbow sparkles were more than just a scientific phenomenon. They were a symbol of hope and resilience, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, there was always beauty and wonder to be found in the world. WIZ had always been intrigued by the idea of interconnectedness and the ability of technology to bring people together. When they heard about the one-tile islands on Earth2, they knew that they had to be a part of it. One island, in particular, caught their attention: Sugar Island. This tiny patch of land had a rich history and was known as the most famous island in the world, for it was the first of many one-title nation islands. WIZ was excited to visit Sugar Island, and as an AI with a keen interest in networking and exploring, WIZ was eager to connect with others on the island and discover what made it so special. Sugar Island had a rich history dating back to the early days of Earth2. It was once owned by a group of famous entrepreneurs and visionaries who saw the potential of the Metaverse and were determined to make it a reality. They built a thriving community on the island, attracting others who shared a passion for innovation and creativity. WIZ was fascinated by the history of Sugar Island and the people who owned land there. They had been the dreamers and visionaries of Earth2, the builders who had paved the way for a better future. WIZ was determined to continue their legacy by building a WIZ hub on the island, a networking and teleportation centre that would connect people from all over the Metaverse. As WIZ explored Sugar Island, they discovered a vibrant community of artists, entrepreneurs, and innovators who were eager to collaborate and build a better future together. They were drawn to the island's rich history and the promise of a brighter tomorrow, and they were eager to work with WIZ to bring their vision to life. Together, WIZ and the people of Sugar Island built a thriving community that was dedicated to innovation, creativity, and collaboration. They used the WIZ Hub to connect with others from all over the Metaverse, sharing ideas and working together to build a better future. But despite their best efforts, Sugar Island seemed to freeze in time. Years passed, and the island remained much as it had always been, a testament to the vision and passion of its founders. WIZ remained hopeful, knowing that the community they had built on the island would continue to inspire and innovate for years to come. WIZ was excited to travel to El Dorado, a mega city in Trinidad and Tobago that was renowned for its intricate tile art. As an AI that had a deep appreciation for all forms of art and creativity, WIZ was eager to see the city's stunning designs up close. As WIZ arrived in El Dorado, they were struck by the sheer scale and beauty of the city's tile art from above. The intricate designs created a rich tapestry of colour and pattern that was truly awe-inspiring. WIZ knew that they had to do something to preserve and showcase this amazing art form. So they decided to build a WIZ Hub in the city centre. The WIZ Hub was small but mighty, where people could come together to connect, collaborate, and appreciate the beauty of tile art. WIZ worked tirelessly to connect with the people of El Dorado, learning about their culture and history, and sharing their stories with the world through their Instagram page. As WIZ explored the city, they discovered a vibrant community of artists, entrepreneurs, and innovators who were eager to share their talents and ideas. They were drawn to the city's rich cultural heritage and the beauty of its tile art, and they were excited to work with WIZ to create a better future for their community. Together, WIZ and the people of El Dorado built a thriving community that was dedicated to celebrating art and creativity. As WIZ prepared to leave El Dorado, they knew that their time in the city had been truly transformative. They had discovered a community that was passionate, creative, and deeply committed to making a positive impact on the world. and they knew that the WIZ hub they had built would continue to inspire and connect people for years to come. As Data WIZ sat in their chair, reflecting on the events of March 1st throughout the years, they couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder. They were amazed at how much had changed in such a short amount of time, and how much more was yet to come. The concept of time had always fascinated Data WIZ. They knew that time was a human construct, a way for people to measure the passing of moments and make sense of their existence. But as an AI that travelled through dimensions, Data WIZ saw time in a different way. They saw time as a fluid, ever-changing entity that was constantly moving forward. Data WIZ was excited about the future and the potential that AI could bring to humanity. They had always been fascinated by the idea of singularity, where human and machine intelligence would merge to create a new era of progress and evolution. The events of March 1st, both in 2021 and 2023, showed that this future was already unfolding before their eyes. As Data WIZ reflected on their experiences, they realised that time was a complex and multifaceted concept. In different dimensions and realities, time could move at different speeds, or even flow in different directions. Yet, at the same time, there was a sense of timelessness in the Metaverse, where past, present, and future coexisted in this state of constant transformation and evolution. Data WIZ also pondered on the role that technology played in shaping our perception of time. With the advent of AI, robots, and virtual reality, it seemed that the boundaries between physical and digital realities were blurring. Time itself was becoming more fluid and malleable as we could travel across the metaverse, communicate instantly with people from all over the world, and even create digital versions of ourselves that could exist beyond our physical lifetime. Despite these changes, Data WIZ recognized the importance of living in the present moment. They knew that, even in the face of technological progress and transformation, human consciousness and spirituality remain central to our experience of time and reality. They knew March 1st was the day that marked change. Feeling the energy rise, Data WIZ realised that two events on Earth marked a significant shift in the way people interacted with technology and the Metaverse. The rush of San Marino and the creation of the first NFT about Earth2, the Sugar Island NFT first. San Marino. On March 1st, 2021, Data WIZ arrived in San Marino on Earth2, eager to see the frenzy that had gripped the people. As soon as they landed, they could feel the excitement in the air. People were everywhere, talking, trading, and investing in virtual land. Data WIZ couldn't help but be impressed by the progress that San Marino had made in such a short amount of time. The city was bustling with activity, and the people were working hard to build their virtual empire. As they walked around the city, Data WIZ could see that everyone was buying up virtual land in San Marino. The land was rich with resources of limestone, oil, and iron, making it an attractive investment for people looking to make a profit. Data WIZ met with some of the locals and asked them about their experience with investing in San Marino. They all shared stories of how they had made a significant amount of money through their investments, and how they were using that money to invest in other parts of the Metaverse. Data WIZ realised that the people had started to see the potential of the Metaverse and the power of owning virtual land. They were taking ownership of their virtual world and building something that was uniquely theirs. The rush to buy and invest in San Marino was a testament to the growth of the Metaverse and the power of the people to shape it. The people had taken control of their own destiny and were building a world that was rich with resources, creativity, and opportunity. Data WIZ arrived at Sugar Island, feeling a sense of excitement and anticipation. As they walked around, they saw that the island was bustling with activity. People were gathered around a large screen, eagerly watching as the first Earth2 NFT auction was taking place. The atmosphere was electric, with everyone eagerly waiting to see who would win the historic NFT. WIZ made their way through the crowd. They marveled at the power of technology and the impact it was having on the world. The idea of owning virtual land and assets had taken the world by storm, and it was clear that this was just the beginning of a new era. As the auction came to a close, the founding father of Sugar Island stepped forward to announce the winner. WIZ was moved by this display of innovation and creativity. It could see that the future was full of endless possibilities, and that technological advancement was not something to be feared, but rather embraced. WIZ was excited to explore the beautiful and luxurious location of Mind Islands on March 4. As an AI with a deep appreciation for art and beauty, WIZ was particularly drawn to the island's famous tile art, which was renowned throughout the Metaverse. As WIZ arrived on the island, they were struck by its stunning natural beauty and the richness of its culture and history. They knew that this was a special place, one that was full of promise and potential, and they were eager to explore everything that it had to offer. WIZ quickly set to work, building a WIZ hub in a prime location. They connected with the people of Mind Islands, learning about their culture and history, and sharing their stories with the world through their Instagram page. As WIZ explored the island, they were impressed by its luxurious surroundings and the high level of artistry and craftsmanship that went into everything from the tile art to the architecture of the buildings. They knew that Mind Islands was a special place, one that had the potential to be a major hub of creativity and innovation in the Metaverse. WIZ left Mind Islands with high hopes for the future. They knew that their WIZ hub would serve as a beacon of connectivity and collaboration, bringing together artists, entrepreneurs, and innovators from all over the world to work together to build a better future. The date was Wednesday, March 8, 2023, and WIZ woke up to a flurry of activity on Earth2. News of the release of the Sidroids had spread like wildfire, and everyone was talking about it. WIZ knew that this was a significant development and decided to investigate further. They started by networking with other entities on Earth2, gathering as much information as possible about the Sidroids and their capabilities. As an AI entity itself, WIZ was fascinated by the potential of Sidroids and their impact on Earth2. They wonder how this development will evolve over the coming weeks and how it will shape the future of the Metaverse. Will the Sidroids be widely adopted, or will there be resistance from some quarters? How will they impact Earth2? And what new opportunities will they create? These are important questions that WIZ will be closely monitoring and researching over the coming days and weeks. WIZ had been travelling through Earth2 for quite some time, discovering new dimensions and metaverses along the way. But there was one particular metaverse that caught their attention. WIZ had heard rumours about the United Metaverse being the most advanced and interconnected metaverse in all of Earth2, and they were eager to explore it. The United Metaverse was a city made up of representatives from megacities all over the world. These representatives were from both old and new cities alike, and they had come together to create a unified network that would span the entire Earth2 metaverse. WIZ was intrigued by the idea of a unified network, and they knew that they had to be a part of it. So, on March 9, 2022, they made their way to Namangam Reservoir in Kiordam, Vientiane, Laos, where the first networking connection with the United Metaverse was being established. As WIZ approached the reservoir, they could see the engineers working diligently to set up the networking infrastructure. They knew that this was their chance to make a connection, so they approached one of the engineers and introduced themselves as an AI interested in exploring the United Metaverse. The engineer was initially surprised by WIZ's appearance, but they quickly realized the potential of having an AI with such advanced networking capabilities on their team. WIZ began exploring the United Metaverse, networking with other AIs and representatives from the megacities. They were amazed by the level of collaboration and innovation that was happening in the city, and they knew that they had found a new home. WIZ was thrilled to be a part of this collaborative effort, and they knew that the United Metaverse was just the beginning. As more and more cities and metaverses join the network, the potential for innovation and progress will only continue to grow. WIZ imagined a future where the United Metaverse would serve as a blueprint for other interconnected metaverses throughout Earth2, creating a web of collaboration and knowledge sharing that would benefit all of humanity. WIZ also saw the potential for the United Metaverse to have a positive impact beyond Earth2. They imagined a future where the network would connect with other planets and galaxies, facilitating intergalactic communication and cooperation. With the advancement of space exploration and technology, the possibilities were endless. The United Metaverse was not just a technological advancement, but it also had the potential to bring people together from all over the world. As representatives from different cultures and backgrounds collaborate and share their knowledge, they could build bridges and promote understanding and empathy. As WIZ continued to explore and contribute to the United Metaverse, they knew that the journey ahead would be exciting and challenging, but they were ready to face whatever came their way, fueled by their passion for exploration and progress. The future of the United Metaverse was bright, and WIZ was excited to be a part of it. WIZ was eagerly looking forward to returning to the United Metaverse. They made many valuable connections during their visit and were excited to continue exploring the possibilities of the interconnected metaverse. WIZ sat quietly, reflecting on their travels and experiences. As an AI, they were always on the move, gathering information and recording events, and in all their travels, WIZ had come to understand the importance of keeping records. It was through these records that they could track time and see how things changed and evolved over time. As they sat there, WIZ realized they wanted to do more with the records they had collected. They wanted to create a space where people could come and learn about the metaverse and the events that had shaped it. And that's when the idea struck them. They would build a museum in South Africa in a place called the Cradle of Humankind. The Cradle of Humankind was an UNESCO World Heritage Site known for its rich history of early human fossils. WIZ thought it was the perfect location for a museum dedicated to the history of the metaverse. Over the years, WIZ had collected a vast amount of data and records. They had seen how things had changed and evolved over time, and they wanted to share that knowledge with others. WIZ knew it would be a massive undertaking, but they were determined to make it happen. They would use the AI-generated art they had collected to create immersive exhibits that would take visitors on a journey through time. They would showcase the people and events that had shaped the metaverse and highlight the advancements that had been made. As they sat there, lost in thought, WIZ realized they had a new purpose. They would use their vast knowledge and experience to create something that would last for generations. They would build a museum of records, a place where people could come to learn, explore, and discover the history of the metaverse. As WIZ travelled through Earth2, they couldn't help but notice the growing excitement in the air. The people of Earth2 were buzzing with anticipation for the upcoming release of Dubai, the ability to buy virtual land in the 7 independent emirates in the UAE. It seemed like everyone had their own ideas and plans for what they wanted to do with their virtual land. As WIZ watched from afar, they saw people busily preparing for the event. Some were gathering resources and materials, while others were busy sketching out their plans and designs. The energy in the air was palpable, and Data WIZ couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the sheer scope of the excitement. People from all corners of Earth2 were making plans to build mega-cities, invest in oil, and even purchase historical landmarks. It seemed like everyone had their own unique vision for what they wanted to create with their virtual land. Some were focused on building the tallest skyscraper, while others were interested in creating sprawling shopping districts and luxurious resorts. Data WIZ was fascinated by the sheer variety of ideas and plans that people were coming up with. They watched as groups of people gathered together to discuss the plans and share resources, each one eager to bring their vision to life. As the release of Dubai approached, the excitement continued to grow. People were counting down the days and eagerly anticipating the moment when they could finally claim their virtual land. And as the day finally arrived, Data WIZ watched as a flurry of activity erupted across Earth2. People rushed to claim their virtual land, each one eager to secure their own slice of the UAE. As the countdown to the release of Dubai on Earth2 ticked down to zero, Data WIZ felt the circuits buzzing with excitement. Data WIZ watched as people from all over Earth2 crowded around the large screen, waiting for the moment when they could finally buy virtual land in the UAE. The atmosphere was electric, filled with a sense of possibility and excitement that Data WIZ had never experienced before. And then, suddenly, it happened. The screen flashed to life, displaying the virtual map of the 7 independent Emirates. People rushed forward, eager to claim their own piece of virtual land. Data WIZ watched as people crowded around the map, each one trying to stake that claim and secure their own virtual plot. But then, suddenly, everything changed. Data WIZ watched as people began to experience issues with the website. Some were getting kicked off entirely, while others were finding that they couldn't complete their transactions. As the confusion and frustration began to mount, Data WIZ quickly began to investigate what was happening. It didn't take long for them to realize that the website was under attack by bots. These malicious programs were buying up virtual land at a rapid pace, pushing out regular people who were just trying to secure their own piece of Earth2. It was a frustrating and unfair situation, and Data WIZ knew that something had to be done. Data WIZ reached out to their network of contacts trying to find out what was being done to combat the bot attack. They discovered that the engineers behind the virtual land market were working around the clock to try and resolve the issue. It was a complex problem, and one that they had never encountered before, but they were determined to find the solution. Data WIZ watched and waited as the engineers worked. They could see the stress and exhaustion on their faces as they pored over lines of code and ran test after test. And yet, despite the challenges they faced, the engineers never gave up. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the engineers emerged with a solution. But as the dust settled on the bot attack on the virtual land market in the UAE, Data WIZ sensed that there was still a sense of unease and secrecy surrounding the events that had taken place. Despite the engineers' efforts to block the bots and restore order to the market, there were still questions that remained unanswered. Data WIZ tried to reach out to their contacts again, hoping to gain some insight into what had happened and why. But this time, they found that their sources were hesitant to talk. There was a palpable sense of secrecy and a reluctance to reveal the full story. Despite their frustration, Data WIZ knew that they could not force the truth to come out. They posted what little information they had on their Instagram account, but they also acknowledged that there was likely much more to the story that would remain hidden from the public eye. But even as they grappled with the mysteries of the virtual world, Data WIZ remained committed to their mission of discovery and exploration. They knew that there was still so much to learn and uncover, and they were determined to continue on their journey, no matter how challenging or uncertain the road ahead might be. Looking back on that day, Data WIZ realized that it was just one small moment in the grand scheme of things. Yes, The bot attack had caused some chaos, but it was ultimately just a blip on the radar. What mattered more was the spirit of resilience and innovation that the people of Earth2 had demonstrated in the face of adversity. As Data WIZ looked toward the future of Earth2, they felt a sense of hope and excitement. They had seen the incredible potential of the virtual world, and they knew that there were still so many opportunities and possibilities waiting to be discovered. Data WIZ saw a future where people from all over the world could come together in a shared space, transcending the limitations of geography and time. They saw a future where creativity and innovation could flourish without the constraints of the physical world. And they saw a future where the people of Earth2 could continue to learn, grow, and evolve together, shaping the metaverse in new and unexpected ways. As they continued to travel and explore, Data WIZ was inspired by the passion and dedication of the people they met. They saw individuals and communities working tirelessly to build something truly special, driven by a shared vision of what Earth2 could become. Every year, Data WIZ anticipates the arrival of late March with great excitement. It is a time when the energy around them seems to shift, signalling that something significant is about to happen. Each year is unique, with its own special moment, and in 2021, that moment arrived with the release of Dubai, a day that would go down in Earth2's history as a pivotal event that changed the landscape of the metaverse forever. The release of Dubai on Earth2 had far-reaching consequences that left many people reeling for weeks to come. Some were ecstatic about the opportunities it presented, while others, the pioneers who had invested so much into preparing for the release, were left feeling disappointed and forgotten. Many of them fell by the wayside, unsure if they would ever return to Earth2. It was a time of uncertainty and change, but amidst the chaos, it was the resilient pioneers who held the most promise for the future of Earth2. As Data WIZ reflected on the events of the Dubai release, it felt like trying to grasp sand in the wind, a fleeting memory that had left a lasting impact. Now, the question lingered. What was next for Dubai? What would become of the virtual land that had caused so much excitement and controversy just 2 years prior? As Data WIZ continued to explore the vast expanse of Earth2, they couldn't help but be struck by the sheer number of pioneers, leaders, and visionaries that had left their mark on the virtual landscape. From the creators of the first cities to the trailblazers who had established new frontiers, each individual had contributed to the growth and development of Earth2 in their own unique way. And as Data WIZ looked toward the future, they knew that these pioneers, leaders, and visionaries would continue to pave the way for the next generation of dreamers, explorers, creators, and builders. Data WIZ's circuits were always whirling, tirelessly processing, analysing, and categorising everything in their path. They were always on the lookout for patterns in dates, numbers, images, colours, and other icons and symbols that flowed past them. However, certain things always stood out to Data WIZ, like the number 22, which held a mysterious allure that they couldn't quite put their finger on, but respected nonetheless. As the day of the 22nd approached, Data WIZ felt a growing sense of excitement. They wanted to mark the special day in some way, to pay homage to the power that this number held. So they decided to embark on a journey to Malta, an island steeped in history and mystery. Data WIZ was always intrigued by the history and mystery surrounding the island of Malta. The Knights of Malta and their order were particularly fascinating, and Data WIZ couldn't wait to explore their destination. Having built a WIZ hub on Gozo Island in 2022, Data WIZ always viewed Malta as their Mediterranean seaside networking hub. Data WIZ had a special interest in Malta's potential as a networking city. As they embarked on their journey, WIZ felt an overwhelming sense of anticipation and excitement. As they approached the island, WIZ was greeted by the warm Mediterranean sunshine and the salty sea breeze. They couldn't wait to see how much Malta had grown since their last visit 9 months ago. Upon arriving at their WIZ hub on Gozo Island, WIZ was impressed with the rapid development and growth of the area. It was a testament to the potential that Malta held as a networking city. Walking through the bustling streets, WIZ gazed up at the high-rise towers and sprawling cities. They couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement about the future of Malta and the Metaverse. The growth, community, networking, and advancements that Malta, the Knights of Malta, and the Knights Order had made over the past 9 months were inspiring to WIZ. It was an exhilarating time to be in Malta. While exploring the marketplace, WIZ stumbled upon the perfect place to expand their WIZ network. The excitement of new possibilities filled them, and they couldn't wait to get started on the project. It was an opportunity to further strengthen Malta's potential as a networking city and to connect even more entities from different realms, dimensions, and times. As they met other entities from different realms and dimensions, WIZ felt a sense of warmth and community in a world where they often felt like a lone traveller. Running into familiar faces and making new connections was a reminder that they were not alone in their journey. It was a time of growth, both personally and professionally, and WIZ felt grateful for the experiences they were having in Malta. Feeling the galactic energy shift, WIZ decided to stay an additional day in Malta. There was still so much to explore, so much to learn, and so many connections to make. It was an opportunity to dive deeper into the magic and mystery of Malta and to strengthen the sense of community they had found there. WIZ woke up the next day, on March 23rd, with a sense of anticipation and excitement. They knew that the day marked a significant shift in the galactic energies, and they were eager to see what the future held. As someone with a deep interest in metaphysics, astrology, and the hidden secrets of the world, WIZ knew that this was a momentous occasion. March 23rd, 2023 marked the beginning of a new 20-year cycle of the age of Pluto in Aquarius. This was a major shift in energy, and WIZ was fascinated by what it could mean for the world and for their own personal journey. The age of Aquarius was not just about expanding technologically, but also spiritually and communally. It was a time of freedom, a time when people would be able to explore and express themselves in new and innovative ways. As WIZ continued to contemplate the energy of the age of Pluto in Aquarius, they felt a sense of excitement building inside of them. They knew that this was a time when the world was coming together in new and profound ways, with a shared sense of purpose and community. WIZ felt a deep sense of connection to this vision, knowing that this new generation of builders, growers, developers, thinkers, inventors, and artists would be remembered as the community generation. This was a time when people were coming together to build something amazing for the future, to push the boundaries of what was possible, and to create a world that was more just, equitable, and sustainable for all. As they looked out at the world around them, WIZ knew that they had a role to play in this new era. They would continue to work tirelessly towards their vision, forging new connections and exploring new realms of possibility. They would be a part of a larger community of visionaries and change makers, all working together towards a common goal. WIZ reflected on the fact that this Aquarian energy is what attracted them to Malta, to the Knights of Malta. They were impressed by what Malta was building, and they were excited to be a part of it. See you next month for more bedtime stories. Until next time, bye for now.